Hey everyone, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Charlie, and welcome to the Mood Booster podcast.
In this podcast, we discuss everything we go through in our daily lives, the highs, the lows, but importantly, everything in between.
Exactly that. We're not here to preach, just here to connect, reflect, and hopefully give you guys a little bit of a lift wherever you are.
Yeah, you can expect stories that spark something, science that makes sense, and a conversation between two friends that feels like you're on a long, long walk with an old, old companion.
This episode is on moving houses.
Yeah, it's a great episode. A bit chaotic. We're just sitting on the floor having a lovely time reflecting on moving. We unpack not only boxes, but we unpack a lot about like our experiences with moving houses in the past, what that looked like in our childhood, those sorts of things, and how we approach that in terms of whether it's stressful, how we deal with the stress, and how the stress looks like.
Exactly. Whether it's leading up to the actual move of the house, dealing with the move itself, and then what that's like once you've moved, how to handle it, and the change overall.
Yeah, so we had fun in the chaos.
Exactly that. Let's boost some moods and let's go.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
And welcome back.
How the flip are we all?
The boys are back in town, aren't we?
How are you?
I'm good, actually. Thank you very much. I am well. Here recording the 8th episode, aren't we?
Numero ocho. I can't use two hands because if you're watching on YouTube, we'll just go from the top. You'll see we're not in our usual setup.
We are not, are we?
This episode is all about why we're not on our usual setup.
Why are we not in our usual setup? What is going on?
We've moved house.
We have relocated premises.
Yes, premises. So we've moved house, and this episode we're filming on the floor with no furniture because such is the situation.
Such is life.
It's actually quite nice, actually.
Quite nice, actually.
But before we delve into why we're talking about
Yes.
all of the reflecting on moving house, how's your week been? It's kind of the same thing, really. But
How's my week
any
been?
notable events?
What's this week happened? This weekend went back home. It's been alright, thank you. Actually, been one of those weeks where I've just gotten on with things. There's not been a momentous high or a low. I think it's just been a week where I've just gotten through. A lot of planning's happened this week. Whether that's been with the house, planning on that.
Yeah.
Looking at getting a new bike as well. Lucky me, through the Cycle to Work scheme.
Nice.
Big up. So I think just overall a pretty good week. Seeing the family as well, which I always love, as you know. Family man. Being a family man. Family man.
Laugh and cry. He's a Lewis. Kiss with like a popsicle. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Getting carried away.
Please continue.
No worries. Just had a lovely week. It was spent back home on the weekend at least. Working, a little bit tired on Monday. It was a very full-on day, wasn't it? It was a bank holiday. I work the bank holidays out of me saying that I want to work the bank holidays, just so I can get the holidays back in a different day, of course.
In lieu.
Lewis.
Mm.
So for me, it was mainly just a working nan.
You can work from home.
Very busy, and then Monday evening we were starting the house move, weren't we? Which was a hectic evening. I mean, for you were moving the whole day, weren't you?
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that.
I've got some stats to pull up in a minute. So
The statistician, what sort of
stick to the status quo.
Was that Demi Lovato, or was that Troy
What?
Bolton?
Is what? That
Stick
song?
to the status quo.
I don't believe for a single second that you don't know what that song is. So stop pretending. He did this before, which was cut from an episode. He pretended he didn't know what Glee was. And in the moment, I was like, oh, you don't know what Glee is. And then when I had 2 seconds of critical thinking, I was like, why? Everyone knows what Glee is. Why the hell would you pretend you didn't know? Other religions are available.
I'm trolling.
So you know what Stick to the Status Quo
I'm aware.
is. Why are you
Please.
pretending you don't know what that is?
What was the guy's name who sang it? Who was the lead singer? It was Troy's friend, wasn't it?
Gabrielle and...
Gabrielle wasn't in it.
Yeah, why is everyone staring at me? Not me, you. That's how it starts.
In the school.
Yeah.
Stick to the status quo.
I like to pop and lock and jam and break.
High School Musical, for anyone who doesn't know.
It is High School Musical.
High School Musical.
To which we have both been in many car journeys singing that song and What's the other one?
No, no, no. What a tune.
Breaking, no, not Breaking Free. The one where they're arguing. This is real. No, not that one. That is Demi Lovato. Okay, I take it back. It is confusing.
God, there's a lot.
Anyway, where do we get to with that
What
one?
the hell sort of avenue did we just go
So
down there?
yeah, it was the status quo.
That was the Monday, the move. Overall, for asking, the week has been good. It's been busy. Seen family, seen friends. Overall, a good week. Friday, had a lovely evening. A barbecue, I didn't know. That was lovely. Yeah, went round to my very brief housemate and friend Dima's house, which was lovely.
Hi, Dima.
Had
We know he's watching.
beautiful barbecue. Dima's watching. Hello, Dima. Had a beautiful barbecue, which was lovely, and then played Avalon
Nice.
as a board game.
Nice.
Now, I'm not a seasoned board gamer,
Neither.
but I loved it. I had tremendous fun.
Lurably.
Just the chaps getting lost in a board game. So for me, it was ecstatic. That was a lovely night. I actually said to my mum, because I went back on Saturday morning after leaving the door open in the house. I went back home and I was like, oh, I got back so late. I'm so tired. I got back at half midnight on a Friday. She's like, you're 25, Charlie. Grow up. Like, she literally said that.
Tracy?
She was like, she didn't say it like that, but she was basically saying at your age, we were out a lot later, which is fair. Like, if I'm now at 25 and I'm so old, I'm like at half midnight, I need to be in bed earlier. I'm just like that now.
I mean, I get not defensive at all, but I come back to that, like, because I've never liked a late night. So I'm like, 12:30 is late for me, and it always has been, even when I was like 19. So I'm tired. So yes.
That was my
I'm
week.
glad you had
overall.
a nice weekend.
How was your week?
Went to Praha.
Oh, yeah.
Prague, if you don't speak the lingo. Ahoy. If you don't speak the lingo, that's hi.
Is that a sailor?
Huh?
The sailor? Ahoy?
No,
there?
I don't know about that reference.
Ahoy there, sailor?
A hodge is how you say hello.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
In Hollandish.
A hodge.
Or Czech.
Or Flemish.
Yes. So went to Praha to support Ross and Jess, our friends, marathons. They ran the Prague Marathon. Really fun. I went to Prague before in 2017 and I didn't dislike it. I don't think I've ever fully disliked anywhere I've ever been in the world, except once we went on to an all-inclusive holiday in Crete, and it was absolute rubbish. I was going to swear, but it was rubbish. But that wasn't because of Crete; it was the hotel. But I've never disliked anywhere I've been to. But Prague, when I was there interrailing, because it was sandwiched with all these other places, it was just a bit meh. And everything closed early, and all this, that, and the third. So I don't know. I said on the way, I was like, God, I hope I'm pleasantly surprised when we get there. And I was. It was lovely.
It looked beautiful.
So
Jinx.
beautiful. Jinx. Oh, can't talk now. Your podcast. No, we can't do it. I literally lasted like 0.1 second.
You buckled straight.
It's a beautiful city. I think it is right when people say you could do it in a weekend. Very much the case. I felt like I very much covered the whole, not the whole place, obviously. Keep going back and seeing new things. But yeah, it was lovely. And seeing them run the marathon was fun. I usually am the runner of the marathons when we go to other cities for them. So it was fun to be the spectator and to be like running around trying to find them. And then when they came, I'd run with them for a bit, and that was really fun, like lifting them up. So yeah, that was really fun. Had to get up at our equivalent of 3:45, 3:45, to come back on Monday, which was again not fun. No bueno. Got back at 10 a.m. to this house and started the move from 10 till 10:30 p.m.
You did a whole 12-hour stint, didn't you?
12 and a half hours, but then that was the final car load at 10:30, and then continued to then unpack on the other side until gone midnight. And was like, we got to be up in the morning at 6:45. I need to stop this.
King of unpacking.
It was,
You're the king of unpacking.
I am the king of unpacking in more ways than one. Let's unpack that.
Let's unpack this.
Yeah, so in the lead up to the move, actually, that's about the move. Maybe I'll just finish talking about how I am. I am good. It was difficult, but on the day itself, I very much just become like an absolute machine and just head down
going for it,
Yeah.
and sort of just don't sort of come up for air. And everyone's like, "Oh, we're gonna have some lunch now. Do you want to stop?" And I'm like, "No, I couldn't eat when it's done. Like this, we need to get this done." So it was just, and Jess, one of the housemates, was laughing at me because every time she'd look at me, I would just be like walking out the house with like some desk on my on my head or like a chair,
Yeah.
and I think she's just laughing because I just was constantly like walking around carrying some random furniture in some convoluted way because I was just like. Also, everyone was just doing their own pace, and I'm absolutely fine with everyone doing their own pace. I'm not expecting anyone to pick up to my pace. So I was just like, as such, I kind of just need to just do my own thing and do all the lifting myself because
Plow
I
on.
can't rely on someone else to.
Was your upper body quite achy afterwards?
Well, I'm already quite hard, so
Oh,
yeah, it's
got
kind of
it.
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
huge.
No, I didn't notice any aches yesterday.
Okay.
I did notice a mental ache yesterday.
Mm.
Was quite tired. So yeah, it was 28,000 steps on Monday, equivalent of 23 kilometers, and I think it was 118 flights climbed of stairs.
Oh my word.
I can't remember the specifics. I don't have it here because my phone is currently being used to record. But yeah, it was intense, and
That's a lot.
I think coupled with waking up so early and going to bed so late and then having to wake up early again the next day, it was just,
You were fried.
yeah, and I just felt sort of very emotionally fragile throughout the day. And then, yeah, went for a nice swim though last night. Triathlon training is
did.
going well. Week 1 to week 2, so we went for our second week of outdoor swimming yesterday, and it was lovely. First week just was struggling getting a bit like climatized and all those things. Yesterday we stormed through it, did a kilometer in
Unreal
good
from
time.
us.
So we're in great stead for the triathlon coming up.
If you're competing, it's a bad day to be you.
Bad day to be you,
I'll tell you
my
that free.
friend.
Bad day to
Don't
be competing against us.
Against us because you will win.
Because you will beat us. Stop competing,
So
please.
stop, please.
I thought it was interesting what you said about Prague, just to go back.
Yeah.
Because I think I had a very similar experience when I went interrailing with some friends. When I came away, I've since said, until I saw your pictures, which is probably quite close-minded of me, that I wouldn't go back. And I was like, I very much lumped it in with Croatia, I think Berlin as well, Amsterdam I think I did afterwards, which I absolutely loved all these places. But Prague to me didn't stand out, at least when I was there.
Yeah.
But upon seeing it, I was very much realizing I just didn't do it right. I didn't give it the time and effort that it needed. I was 18 and we arrived, I think, mid-afternoon, mid-evening. We were there for 2 evenings. On the second evening, we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I think the first evening we went. I'm not a creep, as you know, but we went to a Hooters and then went to 5 Story. I did not enjoy myself. I'll be completely. It was creepy.
Oh, yeah, that
No,
was just
genuinely, it is the worst experience. You go in there, old men ogling these poor waitresses, and it's creepy as all hell. I realised I was in there, like, giving them custom. I am not a creep. I'm just so online that I've been to Hooters. Jesus.
Yeah.
18-year-old me thought it would be funny with my friends, and it was not. We walked out.
Funny. You be careful here.
Fun.
Okay.
Fun.
Okay.
It was not. We walked out thinking it was the worst place on earth.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not been to one since.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that was my experience at
Were you
Prague.
there last Thursday night?
They weren't meant to know.
Oh, sorry.
I told you that to not tell the podcast
Sorry.
listeners.
Sorry.
I literally said,
Please don't
hey,
tell them.
we've been in this Hooters for 8 hours, Marcus.
Oh,
Can we not tell the
not
podcast
me.
listeners?
I was not there.
I verbatim just said those words. I said,
Oh.
we should be leaving this
Why have you-
Hooters.
Why have you incriminated me as well?
Incriminated.
Frick. Gosh darn.
No, we got kicked out, wasn't it, as
Yeah,
well?
we did get kicked out. We wouldn't leave. So.
I'm not leaving.
Hated every second of it. Couldn't stand it in there. I paid for a drink and everything, but I hated it.
Okay.
5 Story, you wouldn't catch me in there.
No.
These lot were talking about going there, and I thankfully, at the time they were talking about going, they were supposed to be getting a later flight back to me, or at least they were going to try to because of BA, exec club, whatever. And they came back to the Airbnb for a pit stop, although actually they looked pretty, I don't know, they were going out. Maybe they were just talking a game. Because they then found out that they couldn't get the later flight back and they had to get on my flight, which was 7 a.m., meaning they'd had to give up 4:45 in Prague time. And Yeah, they didn't go, but I was adamant I wouldn't go. I didn't go when I first went. I'm not a clubber. I don't like the club.
Yeah, club.
I used to find myself at uni getting extra drunk just so I could enjoy it. If that's the case, then that's just not really something you should really myself be doing. Because if you need to get drunk to enjoy it, then there's something you don't need to do it. In my opinion. Don't get me wrong. There were times when I went and something, the vibes were immaculate or whatever, and it was good. But 9 times out of 10, I would just spend the whole time looking at my watch, like, when can I leave?
Completely agree.
So I'm not a clubber. The idea of a 5-story club, people are like, oh, you should just go to say you've been. But I'm like, what if I don't want to go? And what if I don't want to say I've been? Like, that's also okay.
I want to say I didn't go when I had the chance. So
yeah. Wait, you did go, didn't you?
No, I did. I was saying on your behalf.
Oh, right. How did you find it in there?
We went to the ice bar.
Okay.
In there as well.
Okay.
I think I found it all right.
Okay.
It was because it was sandwiched between these different places. We did it because we felt like we had to.
Yeah.
It was very much we were tired from the previous traveling as well. So I just mid.
Yeah.
I don't like the word mid, but I've just used it. Very much a tick off the list when I was 18. Didn't enjoy it. Wouldn't go back. But I'm a very, very different person from when I was 18 as well.
But you'd probably go back to Prague now.
I would very much go back to Prague, at least from the pictures that you were showing me.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like the fact that you messaged on Sunday morning Sunday lunchtime saying we're in a square having some red wine in the sun.
Oh my god.
It
was sublime.
I was jealous. Not jealous. I was very much happy for you, but I was like, get me involved.
Yeah.
Por favor.
Well, we've got about 600 holidays this year, but if you want to go next year or the year after, just let me know and I'll be there.
It's my granddad's birthday that day.
Oh, fair enough. Granddad's birthday.
Walking my goldfish on that day.
Cool. Just maybe we should tell the reference of the granddad's birthday because we keep bringing it up. People don't necessarily like an inside joke. Do you want to tell the reference? Shall I tell the reference?
I'm not sure.
Because we keep bringing it up and it's not fair.
That
to
could
the
be
listeners.
that could be a funny thing though if we can bring it up and just.
Okay.
It's like an Easter egg we could put on Patreon maybe.
Good save. We won't talk about it. It's a funny thing you
We
guys
can-
aren't allowed
we
to
can
know.
edit this-
We're not
this bit
editing
out.
anything.
we can cut this bit out.
You're hearing this.
We can cut this bit out for my own sake.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was my granddad's birthday on that day.
Cool. So granddad's birthday. Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, so Prague was great.
What's that TV show I'm thinking about where they have that thing?
Great. I'll do some lift music while you're thinking about it.
It's where they oh my word. There's a TV show where they have a reference which they never get to actually. Is it Friends? It's on the tip of my tongue.
This is really poor content from us.
No, I really want to. I'd
back
have
to
to
it.
edit this. No, sorry, this thing in my
we're not
mind.
editing it. Come back to it.
Oh, there's like a Let's keep on going.
Okay.
It's gonna annoy me.
Yeah. Well, when you're not thinking of it, it will come. That's how
Tip
it
my
works.
tongue.
Tip of your tongue. Tip of your tongue. Okay. So Prague was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had a lovely time in Prague.
Pretty
Prague, Praha, ahoy, all of the above.
Yeah.
And then came home and moved. So that was my week. And thank you for asking.
How do you find moving houses?
Moving houses.
Moving houses.
Okay, so I am like a machine when it comes to moving house. I kind of have, because my parents divorced, I moved house a couple of times when I was younger. So kind of just got used to it then. And also I kind of am someone, from what we maybe said about in introduction weeks, I kind of just make things happen and just get on with it. And like it's not a bad situation, but it's like no one necessarily wants to be doing this. So let's just make the most of it, because that's all you can do. And if you're going to sit there flapping and whatever, stressing on X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third, you're just making it more miserable for yourself. So let's just get it over and done with. And then that's the practical stuff. Think about it afterwards.
Gavin and Stacey, the fishing trip. That's what I was trying to reference.
Oh, was
You'd
it?
be so happy for me. It's the thing they never reference.
What?
Yeah.
You don't know Gavin and Stacey?
Clearly I do.
Okay, well that's a big day.
That's huge for
Charlie
me.
referencing Gavin and Stacey is actually
Gavin and Stacey.
Gavin and Stacey.
Gavin and Stacey.
I need a moment there. Actually, I'm getting a bit emotional.
It's fine if you want to have a bit of
That's
space.
we've just our friendship has just growing ever stronger, which
Next level.
I didn't think that was possible, but here we are.
You know what I'm referencing?
No, I don't know what you're referencing. Obviously, I flipping know what you're referencing.
Yeah.
You can tell me any Gavin and Stacey episode, any series. And
Brennan? What's the uncle called?
Bryn.
That's close enough.
Uncle Bryn.
Uncle Brennan.
Yes, Gavin and Stacey, diehard fan. So the fact that it was really nice actually in Prague over the weekend. I've missed nor our old housemate has moved out. I mentioned her last week. We just bounce off each other with all these references, and not just Gavin and Stacey, but often Gavin and Stacey actually. And just having her around was just like constant back and forth of references, and it was just hilarious.
It's good, isn't it? When you have that someone who you have that unison and you just bounce off each other, it's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great. So thanks for bringing up the reference.
No worries,
Stacey.
No worries.
I really appreciate that. I will shake your hand once we finish recording. Nice.
Yeah, but you were just saying about moving house before I rudely interrupted you.
You needed to let that one out.
I did.
Appreciate that. When I move house, I think like I say, I've done it a couple of times when I was younger, and then with uni, have done it thrice. Moving into uni, moving into the second house, moving into the third house, and then moving to London was a fourth time. I just am very much like, it's gonna be long, it's gonna be tiring, but let's just get through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep my head down, roll my sleeves up, and just absolutely machine it. I don't think anyone was expecting that, because where I've been so busy, I haven't really packed anything, hadn't done anything in preparation, and the house were like, oh, kind of joking, like, oh, Marcus hasn't really done much or whatever. And I was like, just you wait and see. Like, just you wait and see.
Was part of why you were moving so much was to prove them wrong, do you think?
Absolutely not. That's just how I swear, like, none of that was like a let me prove them anything.
Fair enough.
That's how I am when it comes to moving. And I wouldn't want to take any longer.
Yeah.
So when the day came, they were all just like, who the hell is this guy? Jess was, like I say, just laughing at me, seeing me doing all this stuff like the whole time. I was like, why are you laughing? And she just Ross and Nor were like having some lunch. They're like, oh, we're just having a break. Come have some lunch with us. And I was like, no, I can eat when it's done. / I was just eating on the go with like feeding myself as I was taking a load to the car, sort of thing. Like, I can have a nice sit down lunch tomorrow or the next day or the other day. Like, today's not about having pleasures.
I do rate that highly. The sheer commitment to the cause. You have a mission for that day. You lock in and get it done.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like I say, this isn't fully enjoyable. I don't like being in this limbo. It's not a nice
Does any part
state.
of you like the mission to be accomplished, or is it actually something you just want to get it done?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's satisfying, and also it's kind of, for me, it's like rushing through it. It's like getting the job done. So the quicker I go, the quicker it's like, okay, everything's empty from this house, and we can then move on to the next thing. Because otherwise, like I say, if I'm taking more time, it's just more unpleasantries, knowing that I have that to do for longer. It's just like, I would rather put my body through sweating up and down these stairs than be slower and know that I have to do it for longer. To long it out over multiple days or whatever, for me personally, it's just I just didn't want to do that. So I kind of knew and said to everyone from ages ago, like, just expect beast mode on this day, because I will be. And then, so I did all my own.
Expect the alpha wolf to come out of his cage and start moving stuff away. That made you really uncomfortable.
No. I'm just trying not to forget my train of thought.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have forgot my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
I remember I did my room within a couple journeys, or no, I think ended up being 4 journeys. I did my room.
Yeah.
And then immediately was like, okay, well, where next? Because that's done. So just started like pottering away, like in the communal spaces, the sitting room, all those things. And that's when Jess really started laughing at me, because I don't think she was anticipating that. She had a van, and I was just like walking out with the coffee table on my head or whatever. And so, just kept plugging away at it room by room. And now we're here sitting in an empty bedroom. And we do have like the garage to clear, the loft to clear. And then basically it's going to be a big clean down mission. We've got some family coming. You've got Felix coming.
Mm-hmm.
I've got George, my brother, and Yvonne. I think Claire might be coming to help as well. So we're going to have a big clean down mission because this all needs painting and doing
She's
all
always
those
wrong.
things. Yes. Rental situations aren't fun.
No, it's pretty intense, isn't it?
And they do anything they can to
keep your money.
Keep your money. And for me, I'm like, I've been here for 7 years, looking, in essence, yes, paying you, whatever, and you pay for someone to come fix things, but also like minding your house in a way. Like, I've been respecting your house. But in line with living somewhere for 7 years, there's just natural wear and tear, like paint that looks tired and all those things. And I'm just like, I anticipate they're going to charge us for that, so we have to paint. And it's just a bit like, I don't know, it makes me feel a bit like annoyed in that sense.
Have they said that we need to paint or no?
No, but every single, this will be the first ever leaving of a rental situation where that would happen if they were to say, don't worry about it, you can't go back. Like, there's an inventory, and I think it's actually a third party that does it anyway to make sure it is neutral. And they'll look at that and be like, we need to paint those walls. But also, they're selling this house, so I'm like, the property value is not going to go up anymore.
No.
So why do I have to give my money to the buyer of this house, in essence? Just it's frustrating, to be honest.
Such is renting, isn't it?
Yeah, and renting
Such is renting.
Yeah.
It's the crux of the young person's life in London.
Tricky. Yeah, the young person's life in London. The 25, 28-year-old's life in London.
Soon to be 29.
In July.
July.
July. Julio. Julio Enrique Iglesias.
I wonder if he moves house.
He'll have people doing it for him.
How much do you, in terms of, now there are a lot of memories in this house. These old walls.
Yeah.
These old things. How much of you, now I know on the day, it's just about moving, getting everything out. How much are you in your own head about leaving what you've had for so many years?
I don't think I have been. I am such a sentimental person and bad with goodbyes. But in this situation, and any time I've moved before, me moving and being very practical about it and fast and all those things is not like a masking situation or like a let me focus on something else so I don't have to sit with the sentiment or the emotion of leaving. I know it's not that.
Yeah.
Because you're like now asking me to think about the feelings of like saying goodbye to this house. I think on Saturday or Sunday when we like finish everything and hand in the keys, we'll probably all share a moment of being like, oh, this was lovely. And even like in the new house yesterday, I was putting up some photos and just looking, I was just in myself, like having a little reflective moment of looking at the different variants of combinations of housemates that have all lived here and being like, oh, that's lovely. And just having a moment to think about those different memories. But they're people, they're not a house. And I think I've learnt a lot over the different years, especially leaving uni, because leaving uni was really hard and all of us were just like, we had such a core group, like a micro, like so intense of a group when we left uni, that very much has sort of gone separate ways now. But at the time, it was such an intense group. We all got so like we got so in our fields about leaving and so intense about it. And moving out of the house, on the day I moved out of the house, I remember was such like an intense day and everyone like waving goodbye and all those things. I learnt very much from that it wasn't the place, it was the people.
It always is.
So for me anyway, like this is why, in the past when we've spoken about, where to live and all those things, the heart is where the joy comes from, is where your heart is, and for me therefore where the people are, because I love being around people.
Completely agree.
If your heart's other things, like where you can whatever your joy is, that's where. So I know this house holds loads of memories, but it holding those memories, they will always be in the past. I can't go and sit in the hot tub again anyway, because
You've sold it.
That yeah, we sold it. So bye. The day, you know, memories that come to mind. We went to a boozy brunch and then met a random couple from New Zealand and Australia, Georgia and Alex, and they randomly came back here for like a barbecue and hot tub night. That is a memory. I can't relive that. So moving house doesn't change the fact that I can't relive that. And I don't know if I'm being too, you know, stoic about it.
I don't think so
But
at all.
as someone that's sentimental and usually is very, you know, feels a lot, I feel confident in saying that I'm not too like sad or attached to this house, and therefore sad to let it go, because it was lovely and it has been lovely, and there's loads of wonderful, amazing, you know, very formative memories here. The extreme lows and extreme highs. I remember, you know, one time, distinct memory, going home. We had a dog called Snoopy, who anyone that knows me knows Snoopy was very famous, and like she was the mascot of the lacrosse club at university, and just an extremely well-known dog, and many people like looked after Snoopy, and just she also saw me through a lot as a child, and like my parents' divorce and moving house and all those things, and she was just the biggest character. Anyway, she passed away in summer 2022 or 2021 maybe, actually. 2021.
Yeah.
And I went home for that, and the vet came out to Mum's house, and you know, she retired, so to speak. And I like just have a memory of coming back here and just completely numb, driving all the way home. Not feeling obviously, but just like so sort of flat. Just walked through the door and just absolutely wailing. And just like I kind of fell into Ross's arms and was just wailing. And it was just such like a desperate sadness. Those sorts of memories, to then also like just sheer laughter, and you know, not always alcohol involved, but and the two examples I think of, it is, but it's not always the case. But you know, boozy brunches and just absolutely like being the most stupid we could possibly be, or New Year's Eves, just really nice, modest New Year's Eves here, just playing board games and having lovely times. Or all of the roast dinners that I and other people have cooked for each other here, and welcome people into our house. Like all of those things are so lovely. And even in this moment, it's nice reflecting on those things.
Of course.
And thinking about those things, but the thing is that they are memories, and I, in staying in this house, wouldn't, if I were to, you know, be granted a wish and I chose to stay in this house forever, staying in this house forever wouldn't allow me to relive those things anyway. So I'm kind of just letting the house go. It's gone now, and it's not gone now, but you know, within a week it's gone, and I can move forward onto the next chapter, having all of those amazing experiences and all of those formative experiences, and create new ones in this new place.
That's super nice.
And I think maybe from, I don't know, previous experiences, or because like I've said in previous episodes, like I cannot control it anyway. I'm very sentimental and attached to people, less to things, I think. Or people and memories, or opportunities to make memories. Things kind of maybe less so, or houses. I don't know, because I'm really thinking out loud here, and I'm sounding like I'm on a word vomit.
No, I mean, there's a lot there obviously to unpack. I remember speaking to my granddad about it, saying how nice is it that our brains choose to keep these memories and add this sort of, this lens of nostalgia. This amazing nostalgia, which is this lovely feeling of missing something, all these happy memories. I know even if I look back to university, back to my house, there were definitely moments where I was low, not happy, bored, whatever it might be. But if I look back now, it's all fond memories. Which is lovely. I was saying how nice is that the brain, that's its automatic sort of default setting, where we look back on a memory, you look back on these memories in this house where you've definitely had some low moments. But overall, your brain takes you to a place where it's these lovely memories of nostalgia. So I think the brain does that in a very nice way. But if someone actually offered you the ticket, would you go back to that place like now? So say we're a year in the future, someone says, do you want to go back to the house and like see it, look around? Maybe you'll have a quick look, but be there for a long time. It's always no. If someone offered you to go back to Southampton for a while, I imagine it would, if you did say yes, it would feel nothing like when you were actually there at university, because those feelings have such a different
Yeah.
sense of when you're there. So I think with moving house, you tie so many strong emotions to the place which you were, but going back is often different to when you're actually there.
Yeah. I think so.
But it's nice that the brain does that.
It is nice that the brain does that. And it allows you to sort of, be, I guess, present, because you're not longing for the past because it was there, right? And
I
it's
guess so.
nice. I don't know.
It allows you to look back on the past.
With fondness
With
as opposed
fondness.
to longing.
I think so.
There's
And
always that would be nice to relive that.
of course, but you can't.
No.
You absolutely cannot. I think it goes into the best state of, at least what we've been speaking about, is being present. And again, looking back, you can very much look back with fondness, but if you try and live in the past, that's where it ends up. You end up sort of having this craving for this feeling, which once was, which often wasn't real.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm just thinking about how I delve into this, because I'll just go for it and then see where we get to.
Okay.
When I grew up in a very nice sort of farmhouse until I was 12. Beautiful house, lots of land, fields. Not lots of fields, but several gardens and lots of places to play and all those things. And I grew up seeing my brothers like host house parties and have like camp outs and fires in one of the end of one of the gardens with this giant fallen tree and just all this amazing stuff. And also it was just such a lovely house. Very lucky to have been had very formative years there up until the age of 12. I think we had to leave there when my parents divorced, and I, with my mum, moved to houses that weren't similar in terms of size, garden, all of those things. Just a big change in like life situations. And again, as I always do in these situations, just acknowledge that people always have things worse, and people are homeless and all of those things. So I just put that there and say I'm not naive to that. I'm talking about my experience here, and my experience is also valid. When we left there and then went to these houses that were relatively, in comparison, a lot different, restricted, smaller, less freedom, couldn't seeing my brothers, and in those years being like, I can't wait till that's me and I can have all my friends here like they're doing, and then that was sort of not the ability. I think for a lot of my teenage years was sort of, I don't say mourning, but like sad to not have
A
that.
little bit of grieving.
Yeah. And I didn't occupy loads of my headspace or all of those things. Like I know my mum listens and I don't want her to be here worrying about that. Like it's absolutely fine. I think I'm just bringing this up in this context, which I'll get to in a minute, to bring a story to this, or some sort of story of thinking. And I, that just wasn't necessarily, that was something that I kind of experienced and was, therefore, I still in my mind hold, and I used to think when I was younger, hearing you say about like you wouldn't go back. When I was younger, I was like, I used to think, God, when I'm older and I have all the money, I'm going to go back and knock on the door and be like, can I buy this house off you, sort of
Really?
thing. Yeah, because I did miss it, and I was sad to not have it.
Do you reckon you would still?
Part of me, my younger self, does still think that.
Your inner child.
But that's only because I'm thinking about it now. The amount I think about it is like negligible, if at all. So I don't think I actually would. But like knowing that my younger self thought those things, and like if I was given the option, I would love to go and see it still. And it was actually for sale recently, and they've completely changed it. But it does look beautiful.
Okay.
They've only made it nicer. I mean, they've only made it nicer. But it's just, I think also, again, it's part of that like childhood nostalgia. Like I would remember Christmases there and like snow days and just all those things. And I think for me, that is a different different situation. And I do hold sort of like, and when I was younger, I wish I could go back there. But that's kind of counter to what I was just saying, because I wouldn't be able to relive those snow days or those Christmases there.
No.
But I think because that's much more of like so like ingrained within me. That was like where I was born and all those things. I wasn't literally born there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that was where your childhood was.
It holds a lot more weighting. Whereas I think, therefore, since then, which is probably a reason I've been so, and I'm just thinking about this out loud now for the first time, which is what we're here for.
Of course.
Probably one of the reasons I've been so sort of matter of fact since then is kind of like, well, there's that house there, there's that house. These are all, they're lovely, but like, it's not like I'm never going to find a house that's the same. I don't want to give that impression that I'm like holding out for this house that I grew up in. I think it just taught me kind of, it is a house and therefore it's going to go, and it's like, it's just material stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's four walls.
And it's actually the moments and the people and the heart that's the important stuff.
Completely agree. These four walls actually just brick. It's brick and paint.
Yeah, and that's probably how I got to that. Or not probably, I'm feeling that's how I got to that. From going through that when I was younger and feeling sad and having that longing, which you reminded me by talking about your conversation with your granddad.
It's lovely that that's what that taught you, because it is the case at the end of the day that regardless of house move, any feelings that we feel with it, it's a house. It's the four walls. And the fact that at a young age you were able to, at least very much in person, learn the fact that you can't go back even though you want to. But the going back is you having such fond memories of growing up, which is such a nice thing.
Yeah.
The fact you can revel in those memories with your brothers, your family, you know, what that's allowed you to provide, the fact that you had safe walls around you as a kid, that's given you those memories is lovely.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have that longing, I think it's something so beautiful to focus on. But I do get in the moment as well, still part of me wants to be like, I want to go back and buy it and live there forever.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Like,
No.
it technically is, but it wouldn't be the same. And it would almost sour those memories probably, I think.
It is. That is the case. And I know, just thinking about it now, that that's my younger, because I felt those feelings for so long, that's like those feelings that aren't really how I feel anymore, but because they're still there somewhere.
Yeah.
That's them talking in answering that question. I wouldn't really actually, if I went through that now, be like, yeah, let me go back and live there. Because you just hold it to this high standards. Like I don't know, it was a lovely house, and I would like to go and see it and be there. But
I think you very much go back and see it and have a tour.
I think maybe it was the lack of control as well, like being so young, and it was kind of just happening.
Okay, so you think the lack of control over the external things happening,
Well, like
that house allowed you to have that?
being like 12, I just kind of go along with it.
Of course.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird because I went through something similar at a similar age when I was younger, but we still have that house. So whilst that house is a safe space for me, like growing up, I never hosted, even though in my head, there's no reason I shouldn't be a host. To me, that house, I was never the person to bring friends over, never host massive things. It was quite a safe space, that house as well. And whilst it's lovely to go back, I don't tie loads of emotions to it. Like if it was sold and we all moved out, I also wouldn't be too gutted either, I think.
Yeah.
I probably need to think on that more. I probably would have a bit more of a feeling there than I probably give credence to. I don't know. It does add to the idea for myself when moving house. The actual day of moving, I love. It's like a mission to do. But when it comes up to moving, looking at new places to move, I get this real sort of not fear, but this almost like. I don't want to call it a fear of commitment, but to me, searching for somewhere new and searching for somewhere to move to is often really tough.
Yeah.
I don't love the idea of it, and I often try and stay where I am when I am actually there, try and find the good things, or at least I feel like I have shown myself that. In my head, I love the change, I love the new idea of a new place. For me, I've always loved that sort of hopping around.
Yeah.
I never moved house when I was younger. We always had just one house permanently. So I actually like the idea of being in a new place for this year, a new place for that year. But when it's coming up to that year in this new place, part of my mind goes to, well, what happens if I don't like it? What happens if this new place is worse? Those questions are definitely there for me.
What do you think it is about the, I know you don't want to say those words, but the not committing, where does that come from, do you think?
So not committing to a new place.
Or like a decision on that?
I mean, the easy answer would be that I never had to do it as a kid in terms of move. I just had that one safe space throughout all the turmoil that I went through when I was younger. I had that one safe space for me, which I could always go back to, and that was those four walls. Again, it is just four walls, but what it represents is a safe space that I had when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the fact that I never had to go through that change in a new place meant that I could always go back to a safe space, regardless of what happened throughout the day.
Yeah.
So maybe as I've grown up, that's allowed me to, whilst I like the idea of change, the actual searching for a new place can often be, in my mind, quite cumbersome,
Yeah.
and thus something I often put off, I think, as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily. It's more of like the effort that's required as opposed to anything else. Do you think?
I mean, part of it's the effort. Part of it also comes to having to make a decision on a new place as well. I don't love that. The permanence of what a decision could do, I think, is quite interesting as well. I think for me, making the decision and having that stick and me be like, okay, this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's quite a scary thing as well.
Interesting. The permanence.
The permanence. Nothing's permanent, but for me, I very much see it as permanent. Even if it's a year, I'm like, oh, do I want to commit a whole year to this? Is this the best decision for me? I've very much spoken, I think I was mentioning it in one of our previous episodes about the fig tree analogy as well. Sometimes I get stuck in this thing about not making a decision, not making a choice. And if it's for houses, that lack of movement or that lack of decision, that paralysis of choice, often is quite daunting.
Very valid thing that a lot of people go through, decision paralysis. And if you have two or more options, being like weighing those up and thinking, or basically thinking, whichever one I don't choose, what am I missing out on?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly that.
Many scholars, psychologists have spoken to this. When we're making a decision, all we can do is choose one. We can't live two lives. We can't live two realities. Therefore, this is such it feels a bit flippant to say, but it kind of, if you can truly like sit with that and let it resonate, is that option. Say you choose option A, option B is neither option until you choose one is yours.
No.
It never was yours, and until you choose one, it still isn't yours. So the one you don't choose, it never was yours, and it never will be yours.
Yeah.
All you can do is live your very here and now moment and your exact reality, which is there. So in essence, what that's saying, or what I'm trying to say, is you can only choose one option.
Yeah.
So let's make the most of it, and obviously be informed and do like a way up of, okay, well, logically this is the best one, and if that is the case, then go with the logic. But when you find yourself in I'm so seesawing here, I don't know, all we can do, because in that limbo state we're making it harder for ourselves, all we can do is to commit to one and make the most of it and make it work. If there is that indifference, that's what we have to do for ourselves. And I think just letting go of the alternative and thinking, okay, well, it was never mine, it was never meant for me because I haven't chose it. And I think it's that control over like choosing it. It's like, well, I have an option here to either make my life really good or make it really bad. Neither's gonna, and if it is bad, you then are thinking, oh well, if I chose the other, it would have been fine. It never would have happened because you didn't choose it. So there's no point in thinking all you can do is move forward with your current situation. So there's no point thinking, oh, I didn't choose option B and now option A is rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm longing after option B. All you can do now is think, okay, well, tomorrow's the next day. Let's not look back to those options here. What options can I make for myself moving forward?
Yeah.
And that is if it turned out adverse, like in a bad way.
It's a control of the agency, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of your own decision, sitting confidently in what decision you made. The reality or those doubts that you had about your decision before never are often as big as they actually are in reality.
There's that as well.
And it's trusting your decision that you make and sitting confidently. As you said, not even beginning to look at the alternate path because there never was one. There's only one path that you can live. Now, whether that comes to house moves, I have two options. I take one option because I've weighed it up quickly. So this is the one which I want to choose. The other one would never have happened anyway. This is the only path to happen. Any doubts that I had about this path are very much not as big as I would have thought they had been.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't put off the idea that when I'm having to make a decision, there's that paralysis because of the doubts and the concerns almost becoming bigger than the things to look forward to, the unknown.
Yeah, I resonate with all of that because I'm the worst person at making decisions. And I just think like, could someone else just make it for me, because I don't want to make that decision because of these things of being like, or both are good, so therefore I can't think. But actually, if we can strip it back and just be like, okay, well, both are going to be great, which is in it. How good is that in itself? We're struggling so much because both are good, potentially.
Multiple good options
in this example. Then let's just choose one and make it even better and make it great, and know that that one also was great. But like, I can live 100, 1,000, a million, infinite alternative lives by every single decision I make in every single day, whether I choose to leave 2 minutes before and then bump into someone, or you know, miss the train, or all of those things, the butterfly effect, right? So all I can do is live this moment and choose one of these options, because there's infinite realities that could ensue from the decisions I make.
It dials back to making the most of where you are.
Yes, being present and just going into it and leaning into it and allowing yourself. And obviously we're, as always, speaking about things where decisions aren't, you know, there's not the huge gravity of, you know, being homeless, or you know, childcare, or all of those things. And also on the assumption that both have, you know, both are good, and there's not like a practicality that's, we're talking about if you're really struggling and you can't figure out between two options. And this instance, potentially for you, that was moving over here, right?
Again, I know I've spoken about this in different episodes, but it's also how much does it line up with where I thought I should be? The ideals of where in my head, as you said, when you were younger, you had those feelings of going back to that house. Does it line up with those exactly? Or is it knowing that that actually isn't what you're wanting, and that whatever's happening or the decision that you do make is the correct decision anyway for you? So I think it's balancing that it's towing that line between the decision that works well, that happens naturally, and going with the flow and making the best of where you are, which is the reality. Or is it living in the future of where I could be, and in a state of scarcity, saying I'm not where I want to be? You know, it's the abundance versus scarcity thing.
You do love that analogy, don't you?
I do. It's all about balance, really.
Me and the evolutionary
It's
theory.
all about balance. Scarcity, but this week's face talking to faces.
No, but you're right.
No, it is. I think it's. I'm trying to tie it down to something more experience based on why I possibly feel that, but. In my mind, growing up, I never had to move or make that decision in terms of feeling like, okay, I'm moving, having to get used to the reality of stuff not being permanent. And through traveling, it's very much taught me that there's a lot out there to be excited about. The world's a beautiful place. I know I'm very, very privileged to be able to say that, but there's a lot of good things out there. So it's confronting that ideal of, if I'm making a move, does it line up with my best interests and where I want to go? Or the interesting thing to note is, am I moving for the place or for the people? Now, exactly what you've just said, the best things, or said earlier, the best things are actually when you're following the people, the experiences. You could go off to the nicest place possible, but if you're there alone, this guy won't be listening, so it's absolutely fine for me to mention. In one of my calls recently, one of my sales calls, this guy called Manny, I was calling him, he's over in California, I think. And he sounds like he's had a hard life in terms of just like his own mental battles. And he was saying that after a long day of his kids or whatever, he just wants to sit on his ocean beach house sort of front, look at the ocean and like have a glass of whiskey, and that sounds nice. For most of the call, he was talking about how viscerally unhappy he was, and he wants to have that sort of experience. And for me in that moment, I very much thought, okay, you're not happy with your current life, your job, your kids, your situation, but you're in a beautiful house looking over a beautiful view. And to me, it's just like, you could have the most beautiful house overlooking this beautiful place. You're still not happy. It's the people you're with, it's the experiences. I'm sure there are loads of, this is maybe me stretching here, but I'm sure there are lots of people with not a lot of great big houses or great big things who are really happy because they've got people around them who care about them. So whilst in these big house moves, I myself think, is the house the best place? Is it in the best location? Does it have an incredible view? Is it 2 minutes to a beach? All these things. Dropping that and realizing, is it with people who I genuinely want to spend time with? Is this leading me on to better things? Which, from this house move, yes and yes. That should be the answer there, in the sand.
I fully I can say it better myself.
Nail bomb.
Yeah, you're speaking completely my language.
Yeah. English.
Yes,
Bonjour.
with a bit of Spanish, like
Hola.
Del Boy from.
From Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, just every now and again I throw in a random Spanish word which slightly
K-Tal.
fits but definitely doesn't fit.
Hola, perro.
I'm so like that. I'm so bad. I just fully know I sound like Del Boy just saying that. Anyway, no, I fully agree. And you see people of all walks of life and people who also are traveling. And I'm not saying everyone that goes traveling is like this, but are traveling, maybe searching for something.
A lot of people are
trying to find find the beautiful locations,
perfect paradise
yes,
to live.
and does that come from the external place or your internal? And we've spoken about this many times. It's literally exactly what you've just said, but I think I fully resonate, and that's also why in different capacities, like as I've got older, I say like as if I'm old, but as I've progressed through my 20s, like I very much used to have loads of people around me and all of those things. Now what I'm saying is I very much enjoy and get so much joy from the people and the memories.
Yeah.
It looks slightly different. It's not so spread wide. It's more saturated to a smaller,
Of course,
but it's still about a lot of making memories and not making memories, just living and having joy in that moment and spending time with people. And for me, experiencing things with people is just the crack cocaine all the crack cocaine I need. Other drugs are
other than crack cocaine.
I don't know whether I should say that.
Other drugs are available.
Paracetamol.
Defra coming straight for you.
Yeah, so I can literally.
The environmental agency, what am I chatting about? I'm in the DEA. Oh, golly.
It's still early.
It's
We're
early.
okay. I could be anywhere, but if I'm on my own and not, working on having a nice time with people and enjoying those things and whatnot, I don't know how. Yeah, for me, that's we're in Prague over the weekend. If I was by myself. This is just me, and I know not everyone's like this. I've got friends who very much enjoy their own company. Yeah. If I was by myself in Prague, I would just be messaging someone the whole time, like, look at this is really cool, this is really cool. Because I like to share things with people and have that shared experience. I don't want to be sort of lonely in life, and I want to have those connections. So for me, coming back to moving house, it is about that with other people and sharing that and the excitement of that as well. The moving house, it was fun and we were laughing and like I've said it a million times, Jess was just constantly laughing at me and it was making me laugh because it was funny. And then all of those sorts of things. And I also do find the joy in the messiness of it. Like, this is cool. I was just sitting here on this floor.
Yeah, this is absolute budget, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong, me and my shrimp posture, my back really hurts. But yeah, or getting a takeaway, like the moving takeaway. Like I said, it didn't happen because everyone was really busy. But I was like, we should just sit on the floor and we'll just order a takeaway and just have a moment to sort of. We'll probably do it on Saturday when everyone's here and it'll be really nice.
Have you seen the film?
But that goes to show me like doing something in that moment with everyone and like bringing everyone together. Even in that hectic, noisy moment.
Have you seen the film The Mysterious Case of Benjamin Button?
No.
It's a great film.
9.5 times out of 10, the answer will be no.
I won't ask you again.
No, still ask. Do still ask.
The whole premise is this guy, played by Brad Pitt, Benjamin Button, starts off being born as a really old person.
Yes.
As he grows up, he then gets back to a baby. So his life is reversed. He meets this woman or this girl, and they slowly, as she grows up, he grows younger. But there's about a year where they overlap and they're the perfect age. Regardless, there's a scene where they're moving into this new house. Chaotic. They don't get to have a lot of life with each other because they're different ages and it's weird, or it seems weird and people look away at it. But in this one scene, they're moving to this house. They've got absolutely nothing. They've got a couple of paint tins and a mattress and a fireplace. And there's one scene where they're just dancing in the house. They've got nothing. The walls are like, the paint's falling off. And it's a beautiful scene because the house is almost crumbly. It's not lavish or amazing, but they're in great company.
Yeah.
I don't know why that scene came to me, but it's beautiful reflection of the fact that you don't need these amazing things. These are massive bungalow on the beach to those massive chalets skiing. It's often those people I've found in my life that are actually the least happy. It's chasing people with this massive amount of things.
Yeah.
And it's truly sitting in what you have. Like we're here now. If we're actually trying to sit here and be present, the fact that we're on this floor with nothing,
Yeah.
recording this is ridiculous, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's all come from moving houses.
Yeah.
So
I do get joy in a way in that sort of the chaos,
In the
which
chaos
I
of
know
it.
other people find it really hard to navigate and stressful and things. But I just, it's got to happen. So I'm like, let's just rough it for a bit. Like I guess maybe because I'm a bit more, I don't know, I have my ways for sure, and I'm definitely like particular about certain things, but with this I'm like, okay, cool, I've got to sleep on a mattress for a week. Like, I've done worse, do you know what I mean?
that did surprise me when you first brought that to me for you, because I think it was the move initially.
Yeah.
I can't remember what situation it was, but from knowing you, you like to obviously sit comfortably with how you feel, reflect openly with it. I remember there was something that happened and you said like, I can't do anything about it, so let's just move on. Yeah. So, oh, that's oddly stoic of you. Oddly just moving on, the fact that you're very much like, it's happened, let's just get on with it, crack on.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Like, it's
refreshing
not,
to hear,
I'm not doing it forever, and that's another thing. Like I'm having to have cold showers because the blooming house doesn't have a warm shower at the moment. Like, great, like, whatever. I'll just do it. It's fine. It's not, like, people go through so much worse, and I'm just like, maybe because of, again, I'm not saying any, whatever. For me, when I was younger, I did go through some things that were like, just, they weren't optimal for living conditions, just, you know, temporarily when things needed to be sorted out or whatever. And maybe that's given me some perspective of like, okay, I can go a week without having an air fryer or or a kettle. Like, I will be okay.
strong.
I will be okay. Or I can go a week without having, you know, Wi-Fi. Like, I can make it work. Like, yes, it's not ideal and I'm not living in paradise, but realistically it's going to be fine.
I actually love those moments
And
so much more.
yes, exactly, I was about to say, sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead.
I enjoy the like making it, roughing it in a way, because it's like, it's the most stupid thing, but like when I was saying about having the shower, I was like, well, everything's like, it's a challenge, isn't it? So like, I can enjoy the challenge of like,
Enjoy
I
the
can
journey.
get through that shower, and I can, it's fun because I've just had it's not fun, but like in that moment, I look back and be like, yeah, it's fun. I just
Knowing
had
that
a cold
we're
shower.
fairly young and capable and can handle it, and through the adversities, you can, you know, everyone comes down from that cold shower shivering and sitting on the floor eating. That's almost nicer than if you had a nice, like a lovely hot shower. You went back to your polished bedroom. Like, that's, to me, the first option sounds a lot nicer.
Yeah.
I think it's very much something to note that we're coming from the ability to have the latter.
Yes.
Allows us to sit comfortably in the fact that we
Definitely
don't have it, obviously.
very good to continually mention.
No, I think someone who doesn't have any of it would say these guys are sitting here, you know, about saying how it's nice to not have hot water when we very much do have tap water alone, you know. But going through those adversities here and there is nice because it reminds us of how grateful we should be and how abundant our lives are, really.
Some of it also is just, again, for me, bringing people together. Like, we're all roughing it together.
It's nice.
It's really fun. Like,
It's like campaign,
the camaraderie of it is exactly what I was about to say.
It's all about balance.
It's all about balance. It's the, like, when you camp, it's like, it's rough and ready, and it's, you get your head down, you're like, okay, you set this up, you do this, and it's just, it's the teamwork of it all. How can we do that in this situation, which it's happening, and it's really fun. So I think the move has been tiring, and it will continue to be. We're only halfway through it. Everything's moved. Well, not everything. Most things are moved, but that doesn't mean that it's done. Like this, it's just the beginning of the move, really. But it's been enjoyable so far. We're ever tired.
Seeing what's to work on as well is beautiful, isn't it? Like, for me,
Exciting.
the amount of excitement. I know I was saying earlier that I'm someone who often might find it harder to commit to a new place or commit to looking to a new place and going forward with it. Once I've moved, it's very, very different. I very much like sitting in the fact that I've got this new place. Okay, where am I now?
All the opportunities.
All the opportunities. So I arrive in this new house and like, that gate needs fixing, front garden can need fixing, bedroom can have this and that. The back garden needs completely trimming down. it's lovely to sort of have that thing to work on as well. It's like a mission.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing as you were saying, is having the slight adversities and working through it, roughing it, is that the actual doing of it is lovely.
It is.
It gives a lot of joy.
It's really nice.
It brings a lot of joy.
It does. And it's exciting. Yeah. Renting's slightly different because on one hand, you're like, it's exciting because all these things I can do in this house.
Temporary though.
Whilst also thinking, I've got to balance like investment here and like how much am I going to emotionally or financially invest? Because if they turn around in a year and say you've got to leave, it's kind of a bit like, wow.
I know what you mean.
But if we can figure that out and navigate that, there's still stuff we can do that's really fun and exciting. Like a garden is always going to regrow. So like, we just have fun on a day when the sun's out, getting the garden sorted, those sorts of things. Fully agree. Yeah.
I do agree with you, the fact that we're not there forever, but then what is forever, you know? It is very much it very much is weighing up the question of how much emotional input should I put into a place if I'm only here for a year or 2 years.
Yeah. You gotta, all you can do is live in the now.
I could die in 3 weeks' time.
Exactly. So let's make the house lovely.
Let's make the house lovely. Let's invest. Let's put some time in. You'll always thank yourself for putting in time.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's the putting in the time is actually the fun part anyway.
Yeah. We've got a giant chalkboard in the house, which is really cool. The kitchen is a highlight of the house. It's a lovely big kitchen, big flagstone floors. Flagstone floors? That's not a thing. Old wooden flooring. Just a lovely old sort of, it's not a farmhouse because it's a Georgian townhouse, but it just feels like a bit of a farmhouse kitchen in a way. I don't know why. Maybe just the flooring, who knows. But we've got a giant chalkboard at the end of the kitchen and it's really cool. And when I was slightly down or just feeling a bit emotional or tired yesterday, I had to get the keys cut, so I did that and got some chalk while I was there and came back and
I'm going to show you a trick I have on the chalkboard.
Okay.
I can draw a completely dotted line really straight, really quickly.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
I can't do anything else. I can't speak any languages, but I can do that.
Okay, well, you can...
Per favore.
Someone needs to draw me. What I was saying is...
It's like an egg.
I drew all of the housemates and it was really nice. Just a little moment of creativity to sort of get my head in a flow state. Reference
Coming soon.
Reflecting on hobbies. And it was nice to just sit and be creative and also be like, oh, what's this person up to? Because I drew little things around them which were their characters, like you had a surfboard and dumbbells and...
I was saying to you, I love the ocean, but I am not as good a surfer. I know we've actually mentioned it a few times.
It was representative of the sea.
Good, thank you. Yeah.
And
see me on the board and just fall
I was
straight
gonna
off.
I was going to do a mirror, but I didn't know how I could draw that in a stick figure.
What,
to
for
make
me?
it. Yeah.
What, because I look in the mirror?
Yeah, obviously.
Are you serious? You're in the mirror? Jesus. If that's actually what is...
But looking at your hair now, it's spot on to the illustration.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, golly. I thought you'd done massive colour.
So...
Did you do the goatee as well?
I did not.
Oh.
As lovely as it is.
I can go draw one on there.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to. We'll put that on the carousel probably for your pleasure.
We will.
But yeah, so we have moved house, or are moving house.
We have indeed.
And we just thought it'd be nice to sit and talk about that this week because it's what we're going through. And in this podcast, we talk about what we're going through and
the highs and lows in the everyday.
Very much our present situation, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah, so we went swimming last night, which was fun. I already mentioned that.
You did, yeah.
Came back and just continued unpacking rooms. We're both trying to figure out the feng shui of our rooms.
Feng shui, I'm not good at feng shui.
I feel like I'm better than I think I am. Like I just knew the first night my room wasn't right and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And then yesterday in my lunch break, I just had a rejig and now the feng shui is feng shuiing.
Yeah.
And I can't really put words to why I just know those things. And maybe I'm wrong and it actually isn't good feng shui and I'm using the wrong term, but for me it just feels like it flows a lot better. Your room is definitely... I think you just need a bit more furniture, which you can't complete until you get the furniture.
Yeah.
I think it looks lovely.
I like the minimalist life, don't I?
Yeah. So I've got so much stuff. It's quite annoying, actually.
Oh well. How grateful are we
to
have this stuff?
I know.
How lucky are we?
Lucky are we?
Speaking of...
Ruddy lucky to have all of this.
Speaking of luck.
Look.
One of the mood boosts. one of the mood boosts for this week.
Yes, let's talk about them.
Yes, what was your weekly mood boost?
Well, Lucy, one of our listeners and our ambassador for the Monday Mood Booster Run Club, she is goated to the T. She is a
Goated?
goat. She's a goat.
is that a Leeds?
Greatest of all time. Yorkshire, I want to say.
Yorkshire.
Sorry to any Yorkshire lads or lasses listening. She shared her mood boost with us this week.
She did.
For the first time in her life, I think she's 23, maybe 23. A ladybug landed on her when she was sitting outside.
How lucky.
And she really liked it. And it was a nice little moment that she got. So
What
the
is going
ladybug sat on, sorry, the ladybug sat on her, and she
I actually quite like that.
you were pranging out.
I
Was distracting you. Yeah, the ladybug sat on her, and she she said that boosted her mood that day. I think this was on Saturday, maybe. So thank you, Lucy.
Ladybug.
Lucy, just for context, is everyone's the best ambassador you could ask for, including Lucy. She's the best
Especially
ambassador.
Lucy.
Yeah, she's the best ambassador you could ask for.
Yeah.
She is ride or die for the club, the Monday Mood Booster Run Club. Such a supportive friend, and just has the most sensible level head to her. And shout out to Lucy and her mood boost this week. I know she'll be listening, so
Big up Lucy.
big up Lucy. How about you?
I've actually got two. Another insect-related one.
So greedy.
Yeah, I'm taking them all. One of them was my mum. She saw a bee, bumblebee, my favourite animalia
Variety.
insect.
Okay.
It was on the floor dying, and she put a little bit of sugar water next to it.
That's nice.
Come back half an hour later, it's gone.
Nice.
Drank the water, flew away, back to his little bee family.
Love that.
Come on!
Yeah.
Saving the bees.
Save the bees.
Second weekly mood boost is, if you didn't know, David Attenborough film about the oceans is in cinemas. Is that not unbelievable?
How exciting.
Very exciting, very, very cool. A massive win for the oceans as well. That's in cinemas.
Raising awareness. for
Raising
sure.
awareness and educating the public about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go watch that next Thursday. That should be a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's my weekly mood boost. I've not
Nice.
seen it, but I'm excited to see it.
Nice. And well done, Tracy, for saving a bee.
Big up Tracy.
Very noble. I think I've done that before. It's cool.
lovely.
See their little
Little
whatever
mouths
they're called.
going.
Yeah, so
Little
cool.
nubbin mouths.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's
Little
funny.
weird things.
Sometimes it doesn't work. I did try before. I've done it multiple times.
Yeah,
they're just like,
water.
no, I want to die.
Let me die, boy.
But yeah, once I did it and it did work, and it was nice seeing it fly off. So it's a lovely little mood booster.
Love that.
So yes, Lucy, nice one on the ladybug. Tracy, nice one on the bee.
David Attenborough, nice one on the movie.
Docker, at the ripe age of 98.
98.
Yeah, and he says in the
I think it's his 99th birthday.
the
either
advert, he
tomorrow.
says, as I'm nearing the end of my life, it's just
When he goes, my word, that will be the UK will be mourning for days, won't it?
never mind Queen Lizzie, rip, of course, respectfully, but
David, your role
Attenborough.
model. David Attenborough. God, he is a person too. God bless
treasure.
that man.
Yeah, treasure him,
Regardless.
Treasure.
That is what you are.
Da, 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 da. Okay, thank you for
Alright.
listening, everyone.
I'm turn off the audio now.
We hope you enjoyed. We hope it wasn't too chaotic, but our life is moving at the moment, so here we are. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I will do some ASMR.